Hey guys, welcome back. So today on Instagram, Tom Spina Designs posted a photo of a 3D printed underskull for a mask that he's making for a client. And I helped him make the file, the model for the 3D print. Now, the one that was in the photo, which I'll show here, was done from a digital life cast, like an actual 3D scan of the person's head. Instead of getting a life cast done traditionally with silicone or alginate, he had his head scanned. So in doing so, it gave us the opportunity to make the underskull. Instead of doing it out of fiberglass or vacuum forming it, we could do it digitally. And I took his scan into Zbrush and I created an underskull. So someone asked about how to do it, so I am going to make a tutorial right now. So I'm going to be recording this through Zbrush's native recorder, and I don't think that it necessarily functions at the proper speed. So I'm sorry if the audio gets off. I'm going to try to keep it straight here. So let me hit record here really quickly. I'll say movie. Now record. Alright, so we're recording. So I don't have the scan here. Actually, I technically do have the scan here, but I can't use it on this demo. So I'm going to use the demo female head that comes in ZBrush as our option. It's going to work essentially the same way. Now, the plus to using this demo head is that it is completely symmetrical, whereas a life cast of an actor is not going to be symmetrical. This is pretty low resolution. You can see the poly count is really low. So I am going to bump this up a few times. You can see up here the active points are going up. So the higher it is, the more accurate this is going to be. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. Alright, so now we got our head. We can come over here to the subtool. I'm going to turn off the eyes and the mouth because it's basically like these teeth and everything. Let me show you what that looks like. It's got teeth and eyes. You're not going to need that. And again, if you have a scan of your actor, you're probably not going to have that anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to mask on the head, which there are tons of tutorials on this, but basically you would hold down Control on a PC, which is what I'm using, or Command on a Mac, and you just draw, and then it makes a mask. And you can see it's coming out on both sides because I have symmetry turned on. As you can see, there are red dot, so there's 2 points that are moving around at the same time. That you can just turn that on and off by using X, and now if I hit X, it's only on one side. If I hit X again, it turns it back on. There's my symmetry. Let's see here. So to mask, you can make a lasso tool by going to Brush, M for mask, and then L for lasso. And that'll give you the option to do these kind of maneuvers. And you can see already how this underskull will start to form. So basically I'm just going to draw this in with symmetry on, bloop, like that. That gives us our basics, but we want this to kind of come over the face and the eyes. And bring this down the cheek a little bit here. Now, part of the reason for making these is that you can hook mechanics onto the face. So if you have a creature that needs lips to move or something when the mouth opens, or you need to hook some servos to it so you can run animatronics, the actor's going to have to be able to support all that stuff. So by making this underskull that fits really, really close to the actor's head, they can have something custom made for them. I see why. So I have perspective turned on right now, which is up here. If I turn that off, I won't get that weirdness. Now to deselect from the mask selection, you're going to hold Control and Alt will take away selection. And I'm going to go back to the brush mode, which is B, M, and K. Put you back on the brush. And the same thing, Control Alt to delete. And if you're using a digital life cast, it might even be easier just to draw it in like this, because like I mentioned before, nobody's face is completely symmetrical. So now why I'm doing this, the actor needs to see. So we're going to give him some eyes, or her in this case. And you can cater this to your performer however you want. And it's very easy to adjust. So that goes around their ear. And there's the basic shape. It's real simple. Control, Alt, and if you click, it'll sharpen up the mask a little to make your lines nice and sharp. So there's basically where our mask is going to be on the performer's face. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go to this draw poly frame shift, which is also Shift F, will turn that on and off. We can turn off this little dot here is for the line, and that'll turn off the wireframe. And we are going to go to poly groups. Scroll down and you see group masked. We're going to turn the polish all the way up to 1. And what that does is it makes the lines around the edges really smooth. So you say group masked, and it'll go boom. And now you'll have a little group here with the stuff that's masked. So you can see that there's a difference in color. And if I turn on that wireframe and get real close, you can see that at the edges it makes like a nice clean line. And when you make a poly group, now you can hide the rest. Now, I've got a little bit of extra crap in here, so I'm going to select this, which I don't know, it's not going to be my lasso, so we're going to go back to the lasso. That, and we're going to make that other stuff part of the original group, so we're going to do the same thing, group masked, wink, and now we can hide this, same thing, group masked. Now we can invert this and we have all these pieces, and we're going to regroup all of these together. So this is all one part. There we go. So now what that does is it makes it very easy for us to select different areas. It's permanently grouped. So I can turn off the line here. You see our pieces, and by holding Control and Shift and just tapping on the part, it automatically selects this piece that you need. Now we're going to use that feature to mask everything here. So we'll just hit Control A or Command A on Mac. It'll mask all this, and then we will unhide the rest of the face, and we will go up to Subtool, Extract, and we'll set the thickness. I'm going to put this at 0.01, and you hit Extract, and you can see it made like a little shell. Now this on its own would almost work, but this isn't what we're going to do. So in order to keep this, you have to hit Accept, because if you move, it goes away. So we're going to do that again. It'll repeat the step. That just lets you prove it, make sure it's right before you save it. You hit Accept, and now that is its own piece. Now, the reason we're not going to use this is because we want a little bit of space between the underskull and the actor's head. So this part that we just made is going to represent the padding, which would be maybe like moleskin or potentially some thin foam or something that would be in between the hard skull and the actor's face. So that's what this will represent. So what we're going to do is go back here, and to select the individual group, you hit Control Shift and tap again, and now we have just this this one piece. And I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hide everything else. So this is basically the outside surface of what our padding would be. So it's all selected and masked right now. Like so if I select all and unmask it, it looks like this. Select all to mask it, and we are going to do the exact same thing again. We're going to hit Extract. I'm going to do the same thickness point. Now I'll do a little tiny bit thicker, 0.15, so it's a hair thicker. Now this is up to you on what you want to print. You could have it really thick or super thin. And we're going to hit Extract again. And it's thinking, and there we go. So that, which I just didn't accept, here we go. There it is, and I hit Accept. And now I will turn on our face here, and you can see that underneath, turn this one back on. So you can see we have our face, we have our what represents our padding, which we are not going to print, then we have our underskull for our mask. We turn off the padding, and you can see there's a nice little gap, about a 2 millimeter gap between the face and the underskull, which is really good. And then you'd basically export this individual subtool here by itself, and you could print it. And you basically would put it upside down in the printer like this. It'll print nice and fast. You don't have any supports to worry about on the inside, and you'll have your piece. Now, a lot of times the studios will cut these in the back so they can put elastic strap on here to basically make it fit really snug, maybe some Velcro. You can go ahead and split this in ZBrush if you want, just by masking again on that second layer. You can set that up really quick if you want to see how I would do that. I'm just going to delete this one. Okay, we're delete that group that I just made. Hide those eyes again. We're going to go back to our little helmet here. And select this out. Now, stupid eyes. Now, if I was going to put these slits up the back, this is all masked, so I can basically disable the mask really easily. I would go to my brushes, brush, mask, and use the brush mask, and I'm going to do a super fine line up each side, not like that, like this. And you could draw this with the lazy mouse if you wanted. Now what that's going to do is basically give you a flap, and it'd probably work better if I did it like along here. So this is going to be basically our little flaps. What they do on like a fiberglass one is I'll drill a little hole and have a circle up here, which you probably don't need to do on the 3D print. We're going to do it anyway. What this does is, because this piece is going to flex open, this will prevent it from cracking. So anyway, there's our part. Now we're going to do basically repeat the steps, extract the part, extract, same layer height as we had before, accept, and now our Underskull already has the basic flap, and you would glue over like a piece of Velcro or something to keep this tight so you could snug it down on your actor's head. And this is a way that you can add this directly to your model before you print it. So if you want to print it with the pieces already cut, there you go. And there's, you could clean up the edges or do whatever. I'm doing this really quickly. Now, if you want to get real fancy and do like a Captain America style helmet or something, there are some tricks that you can do here. Same kind of deal. We're going to go back into this mode. We're going to select just the outside. Go back to our masks here. Our last. And you can do whatever kind of fancy little shapes that you like. You'll see what I'm doing in a second. And we're going to go back down here and say polygroups, mask, group masked, and we're going to turn the polish all the way up so it'll be nice and clean. So now we've got this cool shape, and we can do another cool shape back here if we want. I'm just getting carried away now. So you can see what I'm doing here. Polygroups, polish, group masked, and we see we've got like all these helmet pieces left. Let's do one on the face because why not? Same thing, group masked, badoom. Now we have all these little groups here, and what we can do is we'll hide this inside surface, and we can come up here to geometry and go to, let me see, where are we at? Go to edge loops and go to panel loops. And basically what this is going to do is make all these things like high-tech panels. So if we turn this off, let me turn the smoothing way up here so we can look at it. Regroup panels, thickness. We can turn the thickness up a tiny bit if you want, and that bumps those panels out. Polish, we're going to put up pretty high. And we'll say panel loops. Boom. Now gives us some like high-tech sci-fi looking helmets, and you can see really how they can make stuff for like Captain America or anything like that, where you have like a really fitted helmet that fits your actor really nice. This is again outside of making a creature suit helmet. Go back to subtools, turn the face back on. Super simple sci-fi helmet. Again, it's got the slits in the back so we can get our actor in and out real easy. You could even punch it apart and make some kind of weird thing like this. But anyway, hopefully that was helpful to some people. Sorry for the tangent at the end, but it's just some more features you can do if you're already in this kind of environment, working with your model, it's a very easy way to go. Like, if, again, Captain America or like any superhero that you can think of in the movies that has some like really fitted face mask that has some kind of cool panel details, this is pretty much how they do it. So, you know, if you want to 3D print some kind of cool skull or undercap thing, hopefully this is a decent guide to get you started. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I will be back soon, along with other me. He's out in the shop working on something right now. We don't want to get him involved in this video. Alright guys, we'll see you in a bit. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. See you later.